Call the Palmdale Aerospace Academy board meeting on January 14th to order. Mr. Azul, can you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance? Oh, I'm sorry, roll call, please. Roll call.
Dennis Trujillo,
Present.
Nardi Lopez,
Present.
Ellen Pakaisik,
Present.
Patrick Brophy,
Present.
Janet Simons,
Present.
and David Lujan.
Present.
Mayor full quorum.
Now,
All right.
Brent, can you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Just put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Comments?
No, no.
Like to start off with the legislative session. We approved the board member, development committee recommended. What is that?
No, it's an error.
So, I'd like to start off with, the session to approve the parent teacher student organization PTSO recommendation of the parent director seat. So that'll be, the board is asked to approve recommendation made by the PTSO for parent director seat, Justin Knowles. So this is, any discussion on it?
Motion to approve.
We don't have to.
We don't.
No, he's already. Yeah,
I'm doing this.
so it's everything.
We do it.
Right, so can we vote on it?
Do we have any, we're gonna go around. and see-
Yeah, we're gonna go on. Dennis?
Sure. Yes, all right.
Are we voting or
We're
discussing?
voting.
Yeah, you close discussion already, please?
Yeah, sorry, okay, let's go ahead, let's open it up. for
Yes,
discussion.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you have a question?
I just have a question. I just wanted to know how many applications were received?
One, right? Yeah,
There was
just,
only one.
there was only one.
Okay, and the development board committee was not
It was,
part of this,
it was done by the PTSO, they're the ones that recommended,
to the board.
to the board.
Okay,
Ellen?
No questions.
Patrick?
No questions.
no questions.
No question? Would you like to vote?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
And vote aye, so let's please welcome Mr. Justin Knowles to the board. So Justin, this is Dennis, Dennis is Justin. Right, we start next by, item number 5, monthly reports or by. Special education,
One of the things that we have been working on through our compliance and improvement monitoring was going and looking at and implementing an inclusive program. And it's the data that we got from comparing semester 1 of last year to semester 1 of this year. It tells us why inclusion is super important to us. So we had an improvement of special ed attendance by 2.08%. We have moved ADA from last year at this time from 92.77% to 94.85%. So that's a significant improvement when you look at just where we were attendance wise. The other part, which I think is even more remarkable, is when we look at just how much we've improved GPA. We made a 12% jump from last year to this year amongst our 7th through 12th graders. The ability for them to get first instruction from a teacher who's credentialed in a core content subject matter really does matter for our students. We moved our GPAs from 2.32 to 2.44. And in every grade level except one, we had multiple and double-digit improvement amongst our students. I will bring something, a little bit of presentation to you guys next week to kind of explain more about what the program looks like, how we've implemented it, some of the things we're going to look at moving forward, and then to look at some of the hard data that we have dug into. So, but I wanted to celebrate that. I want to celebrate our special ed teachers and our gen ed teachers who are doing a tremendous job in the classroom, working with our students with disabilities.
thank you, Chris. Director of Educational Services.
Good evening, everyone.
Our youth truth surveys have been completed and they're closed. By this Friday, January 17th, they will put together all the data and send it to us, confidential data that was collected from our parents, our staff, and our 3rd through 12th grade students. And then we will meet with our admin teams and go over that data. They will meet with their staff to go over and talk about any concerns that may have been put into the surveys, come up with some solutions for those, and of course, to talk about the positives that were included in the surveys too. And at a previous board meeting, I was asked about the current students that are taking our Spanish classes for the school year. And right now we have in Spanish 1, 255 students, Spanish 2, 120 students, Spanish 2 native speakers, just 23 students, and Spanish 3, we have 54 students in there. And in the last one for you, on December 20th, we had 3 special guests that came onto the elementary campus. And there was a little video that's 35 seconds that I'd like to show for you. So you can see the guests that came on campus. So Laura, do you have that video? The 35-second one?
I'm gonna send it to you right now,
Okay,
to see if you got it.
It has sound on it too. So I would like to extend a thank you from Santa Claus. I had to take off because it was a warm day that day and Olaf thought he was starting to melt a little bit. Santa Claus didn't have time to tell everybody thank you, but he would like to thank our PTSO who generously donated 600 candy canes so that each elementary student could get a candy cane. And also a special thank you to Mr. Lujan who donated some new toys for the students that could benefit from that, and also 100 candy canes to make sure that our staff at the elementary school also got a candy cane. But also, probably more important is because our kids are kind of funny, and the look of shock and disappointment if they got a candy cane from Santa's bag that was crushed or snapped in half, it just doesn't taste the same as a new one. And Mr. Luan came to the rescue and was able to make sure that the kids got an unbroken candy cane. So thank you, Mr. Luan.
All right, Director of Facilities, Maintenance and Operations.
All right, so this winter break, when our students and teachers were enjoying their homes and their families, our dedicated classified teams worked diligently to improve our school infrastructure and services. The facilities team successfully completed the installation of the new HVAC condensation lines that the board approved, as well as the fire emergency roll-up door improvements that we talked about prior to going on winter break. Those have been completed, tested, and were in good working fashion. Preventative maintenance was also done across the academy, including power washing our outside areas and student walking paths. Students and staff, when they came back, were very happy to see the regiment that was done over the winter break. Our wonderful IT department configured new STEM laptop carts for our growing need within STEM. They did some critical organization within our MDF and server rooms to be more strategically organized for their assets. And they worked on a network security infrastructure project for our front desk, really helping to increase their security as well as the overall campus safety plan. Our custodial department was here as well too. They focused on deep cleaning as well as sanitizing all classrooms, common areas, restrooms. We did a deep cleaning and restoration of our gym floors as well too. So we really took advantage of this opportunity with less foot traffic here on site. As always, we appreciate the hard work and dedication of these teams. Because we are a school of choice and we have to have a campus that people choose to come to. And they make that happen for us. So I wanted to make that a shout out as well.
Thank you. Director of Health Services.
Good evening. We've just received our new certification from the California Department of Public Health for new standing orders for our EpiPen and our replenished Narcan that we have here. So we replenished our new stock numbers and we now have EpiPens and Narcan on site that extends out expiration dates until 2027. So I'm pleased to report that. That was a lot of paperwork to get something from the state, so we were able to get it done. We also completed the immunization report for the state for the TK kindergarten and 7th grade, and we had 100% compliance. Also, that's a difficult feat sometimes with parents and immunizations these days, so that went well. And we are just reviewing all of the incoming students and new incoming students for health issues, and we'll be issuing healthcare plans. We're finishing hearing and vision on the elementary side. We only have 4 classes left, and then we'll be starting hearing and vision on the middle school and high school side.
Thank you.
On the Narcan, is that for staff or for the students?
It's in the health office. It's on sites for adults or students. It's anyone who's trained can use it.
Okay.
We
Do you
have several
guys bring the training on site or
Yes,
for the
we've
staff?
trained several, on our professional development days, we've trained several staff members. And then we have all of our health staff trained as well.
Okay, because I just want to say for the fentanyl campaign between the cities, the counties on there to the public health, and they go out and they've trained a lot of the city staff. And they will
Yes.
come on site and train as well. And we also have, and the service providers have a lot of Narcan too, that sometimes they're looking where to supply it.
Currently, we have, I hope we never need this, but currently we have, I think we have like 15 doses here, 15 boxes, so it's 30 doses. So I can't imagine in any day that we would need that many Narcan doses, but we do have our well-being center from the public health department. They've actually conducted 3 trainings here for parents, staff, and students. So we have lists of parents, staff, and students who are trained. That's cool. Thank you.
Chief Business Official.
Yes. So we are diligently working to complete the annual audit for 23-24. We are waiting for the report to come out tonight so I can start reviewing it. And then as soon as that is done, complete and finalized, we'll be moving on to the second interim.
Before we continue, I'd like to make a change on item 15. Under facilities maintenance and operations, it should read T-Mobile hotspots contract for students. Attachments and memo content are correct. Sorry, this is the title. All right, so number 15, T-Mobile hotspots contract for students. Okay. So consent agenda. So before us, we have the consent agenda. Do we have any discussion?
I have B.
I move that we approve the consent agenda other than item B.
Okay. Second.
I would like a little bit of a report, so this, just to understand, this is, it's for 6 months. So it's for the business services department.
It's continuing Karen Adelson, one that did the first interim. She's been transitioning with Roseanne because she has the history of what we've done so far. Roseanne's new, and so she's also working with coaching the team.
Okay, so
So
it's
that's neat.
extending
It's
her
up to
to be there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other questions? So do we make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is then?
Yeah, I'll modify that motion. I move that we approve the consent agenda as entirety.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Or any, all those opposed? No, all right, motion passes. All right, informational, session and presentation, so student organization and equal access, Mr. Prime Minister.
is second read for student organizations, as I have explained previously. One of the roles, especially as you go through, reauthorization, is the review of all of our policies, including student policies. One of the things that made our policies previously confusing was the fact that ARs and the administrative regulation and the policy were combined together. This is the breaking apart of those two things, as well as adding a little more clear definition in our administrative regulations when it comes to student organizations and some of the policies that we have to follow and procedures that we need to follow as expected by the California Department of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy. Any questions? All right, PLT Gateway Grant Informational Session by Lisa.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the board meeting. My name is Lisa Olwine. I'm the coordinator of curriculum instruction and assessment. I work with Gary. And bringing some information to you about a grant we received from Project Lead the Way. Each year, there's a process to go through and apply for different grants at the elementary, middle school, and high school. This year, we were lucky to receive the grant for our Gateway Middle School program. So on January 6th, we were notified that we received a $10,000 grant, and that's going to allow us to expand materials and additional classes for our 7th and 8th grade courses. We're going to bring back Flight in Space, and then we're going to bring back app creators. It's a little bit different than what it used to be. It used to be like more of a program where they just kind of worked on phones, but now they're going to also be able to do apps on iPads and also on the Chromebooks that we have now. They've expanded what we can offer. So with this, then it's going to allow us to purchase the equipment that we need for the Flight in Space. There's some consumables that we need to replace, and then some other hard components that we need to replace. And then it also allows for us to train our teachers. And so that means that we're going to be able to train for 2 courses for 2 teachers, and that's going to cost us $4,800. And then the course resupply and rebuild gives us $5,200. And that doesn't cover all the things we need for that, but we do have a Project Lead the Way budget. This does help compensate. And that'll be for the school year 25-26. Any questions?
Congratulations, Raymond.
Thank you.
All right, legislative session. For item 9, there's nothing for item 9 under board president and chairman. Under superintendent, the motion before us is the Commerce House Social and Fair Planning. Do you have, does you have any questions?
So this is I'm sorry,
Yeah, this is to approve a 2-year proposal.
are we gonna go down?
Yeah, so do we have any questions, Mr. Justin Mills?
I didn't, just wondering exactly what it is that we're getting from them.
You're here now. So we had brought to the board a road mapping session with Commerce House where they met with the executive team and we talked about what we want in a website, what they can offer us for social media to do outreach to get more students, get more teachers, and kind of have a social media presence. So they will be redoing our entire website. So I know we've had issues with our website. So this is more of an in-house. Mr. Duarte was very excited because he gets to have some of it housed with his department where it should be. So we're just bringing it back. This is the final quote of what it would be to have this done.
Thank you. Mr. Curry, do you have questions? Ms. Lopez?
Is this to revamp the existing platform design, or is it
Completely new.
completely new?
Yeah.
And this is for both, it'll cover both
All 3 sides.
campuses and all of that.
Yeah.
Is it gonna include input from users?
Yes, our entire executive team met, of the tech department, and, yes, so principals, we would involve all of them.
No, but I mean, public parents, the outside users of the website.
Like how to build it, you mean?
No. Input into what maybe easy access isn't easy access, because in reality,
Oh, yeah.
I'm understanding the website's gonna be revamped for the users, the people, right? The websites, right, they usually work, to sell,
Right.
right? The school and the story and be able people to, it's kind of the first impression, I'm gonna say, from when people, even applicants, when they apply for a job, that's the first thing they go to. And so it's important to have,
Yeah.
if we're gonna have input from
Yeah, of course.
outside users.
Yeah, we would always welcome that.
Okay.
And they'll be compliant with all the rules and regulations for, and they would post on our Facebook and Instagram and create a LinkedIn press.
All right, that's been good.
No questions.
So where did, so I was looking up Commerce House, where did they come from again? Where did we,
Well, they're a national company.
okay.
Yeah, and I heard about it through AXA colleagues in North.
Oh, so one of those conferences, right?
Yeah.
You know, because I was trying to look it up, like, I saw a lot of the different brands on there, but I know it mentioned charter schools or doing schools. I didn't see any schools on their website.
Yeah, they have one in Orange County and they have a one that's in Texas and one that's another state.
Okay, so they do some California schools. Do they do charter schools out here
They do
too?
charter school.
Okay, have you seen the
We
Orange
did.
County's
Did you
website?
want to talk about what you liked?
I did, so, when they first, we first met them, we had an opportunity to actually go look at one of the charter schools that they did down in Orange County. It was up to date, it was easy to navigate, it was embedded video that you could see. There was just, the navigation of it was much simpler than ours. Took a lot less clicks to get to where you wanted to go. And it was clean. It really, everything was straightforward. It was clean, engaging. It was really, really well done. And because it was another charter school, I could sit there and kind of almost picture what it would look like with our branding, with our people, with our pictures and all that. So, I wish I cannot remember the name of the school.
Later.
Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I have a list.
but
So I guess mother follow, so after they build that for us, it sounds like there's a plan. What's the plan to maintain that?
Well, Mr. Duarte can fill us in because it would actually, some of it would fall under his department, because right now our tech department's not involved at all in our website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much, tech will be the main overseers of everything. The plan would be try to lock in, each department to kind of have input in their own page. So, you know, counseling could have a nice counseling page set up. Like middle school could have a nice middle school. Hopefully we have an area for clubs and stuff like that. And then just full control so that if something needs to be changed now, it can be changed now.
Okay, cool. So it's not, so the website, there's also like a social media content as part of this. What, and I was looking at some of those bullet points there, like if they have to do travel costs, those aren't
Right.
baked into here. What are we, I mean, that's a big chunk of money. That's $100,000 for the monthly engagement.
Right.
Plus whatever, I mean, if they have to make videos, but what's the thought there if we're spending $100,000? And what am I
Well,
getting
so
out of
good-
that?
Good social media strategy is you have like Monday through Friday what you're posting. So like maybe it's Monday, it's like coffee with the principal post, and Tuesday it's like inspirational thoughts, whatever. So they plan out the whole month in advance and they send somebody out to do photography, or we have our in-house photography. I mean, we use Dave Saltman, you use him probably a lot, his company. And we take pictures with our cell phones, you know, I know you've seen the robotics post that I've been doing on Facebook. Yeah, so the cost wouldn't be as high because they know that we're gonna be integrating all that, but they put that out there as like, this is what it would cost.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's,
But they could either post daily for us, we could post for ourselves, they could schedule the postings, but they come out usually a month or two in advance to get it all set up.
it seems, for this cost, seems like they said 3 posts a week on 3
Yeah.
different platforms or something like
Yeah,
that,
because
right?
right now we don't have a LinkedIn and we don't have an Instagram. Our students have more social media than we do. So they would be creating those for us. Right now, we do have a Facebook page, but it's all for the whole academy. So they'd be really revamping that, so we have a real presence on social media, which is needed.
Go, I was gonna throw a little bit. Okay.
No, that's okay. I'll let everybody finish.
Okay,
Okay,
so
questions or?
I think the last one was like,
they mentioned like doing like kind of branding and there's a lot of talk like that. And I think as board, like we don't get in the weeds so much, but like the mission and vision and branding seems like something that like should be coming from here. Like where's our involvement in what that ends up looking like?
So we have a branding guide that we follow and they have a copy of that. So their branding would match it would match what we have as our brand. They're not changing our mission and vision.
Okay,
So like if our colors are orange and we want to keep doing that, then they mold the website to suit our need. If they see that we can take like design, create, explore and make it some dynamic thing, they might suggest it to us, but we would come back for.
okay, they're not,
They're not changing.
here's the new idea, no.
No, it's just, it'll look different, but it'll still have our branding, because we have guides on what we use for fonts and colors. and-
Okay.
Yeah, and they have a copy of that.
Okay, I'm good.
No question.
I have no questions,
Is there going to be some testing of this before it's launched?
Oh, yeah, well, that's why we want approval now, because it's gonna take at least till the end of the year to get it all up and running and work out the bugs and work with Michael's department, I'm sorry, Mr. Duarte's department. And
Yeah, it's revamping website takes, I mean, it entails a lot of steps to
right.
make sure that the functionality of it at the end works, because once it's launched, if there's glitches, it's
Right.
it's difficult to, and you can end up with many, many pages, unnecessary pages and clicks.
Yeah, they won't let that. We won't.
Looking forward to see what turns up.
Yeah, we're-
do you have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the Commerce House Social Investment proposal.
Second.
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, right before us, I have a motion to approve, the Wells Fargo Bank authorized agents. Mr. Knowles, we could open this for discussion.
So is there I thought there was a requirement previously that a member of the board also have a signature authority. Am I mistaken, or did we not have that in the past, or do we not need it?
I know, we did have it in the past. The problem was when the person wasn't around, we couldn't get to sign. So, and we never had a CBO per se, so that was, I think, why they had a board member. But it was difficult because they'd have to wait sometimes 24 hours for someone to be available to come down and sign. So, but I know you have more information on what route.
It's a two signature process, right?
Well,
It's a two-signature process for over $5,000. Other than that, it's just, one signature.
And so the thought was just having a third person, so you don't have to wait for.
right,
the
because
over-
right now it's Mr. Dilger and myself, and if we're both on a conference together, nobody can sign anything. And so we have third person or vice versa. We've come across some instances where we need more than one.
So is this adding two people, so we'd have four? Is that what this is?
No, we're adding, we'd have three.
No, three.
Yeah, we have three.
Okay.
Mr. Trujillo, any questions? Lopez?
So I assume that everything is brought to this board to approve. Yeah. So I'm assuming that most of what you're gonna be signing is already been approved by the board, right? Because,
Yes. And we double check in and Donna's
Yeah.
really good at triple checking.
and I don't think our bylaws or anything require there to be any of the board as signers or anything like that, so.
Mr. President? Mr. Brophy?
I said, like, Mr. Knowles, like, I tried to find, see if that was on the board policy. I didn't see anything, so.
Seconds?
No question.
Any questions? Okay. So, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the Wells Fargo Bank authorized agents.
Very good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes. The motion before us is the student organizational and equal access. Do I have any discussion on that? Mr. Knowles? No. Mr. Trujillo? Lopez?
So I guess I just have a question in regards to the process. Excuse me if I haven't caught on to why we do it this way, but, why is it that we have it at the beginning of the meeting in red line and then later on we have another of the same document in the same meeting?
Would you like me to explain it?
Yeah.
So, you always get the first read. The first read's the opportunity to bring any kind of edits. As you see them, they give that 2-week period. I would make any changes into the actual one that's done in informational. So that way we can go through and get board policy approved. I currently have 28 board policies sitting on my whiteboard in my office. And if we did 3 reads of every single one of these, I might be retired before I get through 28 of them. So it's to expedite this process, because previously I'd bring it to you one time, you'd read it, and we'd go through the process like we did for the second read, where you'd have no questions or no edits or no changes. I'd bring it back for a second time. We would go through what we did today, and then in 2 weeks, I'd bring it back to you for a third read. And then it would be approved at the third read. We've just taken the third read process out of it. So we get the first read, any kind of feedback that the board may have, because I mean, ultimately, they're your policies. I'm just the person that crafts them on your behalf. So you have that opportunity for any input after that first read. And typically, if there's something that's off, I know Mr. Knowles has done this multiple times for me. I don't understand this sentence, or this needs to have some kind of change to make it clear. And then I would make those changes and then bring it back for the second read. But this is to expedite that process, because there are a lot of board policies that require administrative regulations. And we really want to make sure that some of these things haven't been looked at since like 2019. We're 4 or 5 years deep. And so it's time for, we're still calling in some of our board policies, Ms. Lynch is the headmaster. So we need to get that up to superintendent and have those things match, and this just helps move that process along.
I bring the question up because I feel like from Thursday, from when the agenda's posted to the day of the meeting, there's not a lot of time in between that. Sometimes it's weekends, and sometimes we have a job where we are, working a lot as well. So we may not be able to, I know I'm sometimes not able to review the entire thing, and we're approving them here. And so, I'm just trying to see if that was a requirement that we had to do that, or if maybe we can revisit a way to do it that it allows a little bit of time for review without delaying. I understand there's a lot of.
And that's the
to
big part
update.
of that first read time period. Well, that's why you get that 2-week time period from the time it first comes to you. This isn't the first presentation of this policy to the board.
This is the second read.
This is the second read. So that's where you get that time period, that 2 weeks. And you have an opportunity to kind of tear into it and look and see if there are things that you would like to have added, changed. And at that time, that's when I go through and I redo the edits before this board meeting. So there really is a 2-week time period for that to take place. And it shouldn't feel like you get it on a Friday and you got to approve it on a Tuesday. What you should get when we get to this spot, you should have a pretty good idea of what's going to be inside of it already, because what you have, feedback that's been provided to me will already have taken place inside of it. You'll see very rarely, often there's no changes, but there are some minor changes that usually do take place when that happens. So.
And is there, I don't know if, I don't think there is, but is there a way that maybe in the staff report or something, maybe you can put when you're expecting those 2 days or to bring it back?
I'm not quite sure the question.
When you the first read,
Mhm.
if maybe in the staff report, you could just put
Yeah.
when the expected return meeting date.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
second reading is
I guess
gonna-
I could absolutely put that at the bottom in the red line.
Okay.
For you, so that way you know exactly when that will come back to you guys. Yeah, that's an easy
And then
fix.
maybe that'll,
I think the other thing that will fix it, which you and I have spoken about before, is an agenda review.
yeah,
And so Donna and I are going to be presenting that, or it's one of my items to say during my
Okay.
time at the end of the meeting, so I'll bring it up then.
Ms. McCarthy, or is that any other question?
no, I just want to make sure that we are also, I know you're investing a lot of time into them, right? And I want to be mindful of that. And so,
Absolutely.
Ms.
Thank you.
McCarthy?
I don't have any questions.
No. No questions for me. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve student organizations and equal access, board policy and administration.
So I have a second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes for the student organization equal access. Thank you. All right, the motion before us is from educational services. It's the world language credit policy. We'll open this up for discussion. Mr. Knowles?
So this is just amending our policy to make sure that all language courses receive the credit that they're supposed to.
So our current world language credit policy has a little flaw in it, and it says that only students beginning in the 23-24 school year get credit. So if you are a middle school student and you did what we want you to do, we want to challenge our students, we want them to take classes that we're offering. If they pass the test to get into Spanish one, you have to take 2 world languages in order to meet the graduation requirements. You took one in 8th grade, you got a C or better, you get credit on your transcript, you get credit for the GPA. Oh, but sorry, because you're 10th, 11th, and 12th grader, your only flaw is you were born here too early. You don't get credit, but our 9th graders do. And I think that's wrong, in my opinion. So I would like to tweak this a little bit and take off that school year, beginning with that. We're not gonna go to somebody who's 29 years old, has already graduated and change their transcript. But one of our current students, we have approximately 50 students that this affects, that would be our 10th, 11th, and 12th grader, because they successfully completed their Spanish course in middle school, and then that would be, they would get credit for one of those classes. Now you took it again in 9th grade, in 10th grade, that opens up that you don't have to take a 3rd one, because you can take one of your STEM classes, one of your other elective classes that you're excited about, and having that year on there, that simple year, it punishes the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders on there. I also took, there's actually 2. One was CP10 and board policy 607. They were identical twins, except for one had a little paragraph added onto it that was copied and pasted from the UC subject description on there. And that doesn't belong in a board policy, that goes in the student handbook for the current student course handbook in there. So it's kind of just tweaking a little bit, making it right for our kids.
Thank you.
Mr. Tree? Ms. Lopez? Ms. McCarthy? Ms. Noble?
Yeah.
All right, and I have no questions. Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the world language credit policy, board policy 6056.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes for the world language credit policy, board policy 6056.
Thank you.
All right, motion before us is the SARC 2023 and 2024 school accountability report card.
Laura, do you have that? You can put it up on the screen, please. Sorry. Do you have it in front?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, we can talk about that. Okay, so as you flip through that SARC, the SARC is, the state law requires us every year that we have to get this approved. And all the schools that are public schools that receive state funding, oh, not that one. That's just the board
I
member.
don't need it, Laura, it's okay.
Oh,
Thank you. All the students that receive state funding are required to prepare and distribute the SARC, the school accountability report card. The purpose of that report card is to provide our parents and our community members with information about our public school. SARC begins with a profile about TPAA, and it provides background information about our school. State law requires that we also put in some information, additional information, it's like 28 pages long in there. And this gets published on our dashboard, not on our dashboard, on our CD, and it'll also go on our website. And in the information that you'll find on there is our other demographic data. And as our school safety and our climate for learning information, you'll find academic data, school completion rates. You're gonna find some class sizes, teacher and staff information, the curriculum and instruction descriptions, and post-secondary preparation information, and also some fiscal and expenditure data inside of that too. SARC is always published for the year before. So this 2024-2025 school year, publishing last year's data for 2023 and 2024. So it's basically what you see is the start from last year with all the current data for the year before. Right. Any questions for students? Ms. Wilkins?
No.
Ms. Rising?
Page 7. We're at 58% in 22-23 fully or credentialed teachers. Is that accurate?
For 22-23?
For 20, and page 7, the top of it, it has our school percent at 58%.
That was the 22-23.
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah.
So that would have been 21-22 data.
Well, no, so 21-22 would have been,
21-22 data that's you see in that chart.
so, oh, this says 22-23 teacher prep and placement on page 7.
Yeah.
We're at 58,
So it's always, it's the data from the school year before,
so that's the data from the 2021 school year.
21-22 school year.
This is,
Okay,
so it's 24-25. We need the data from 23-24 to put into this year's SARC so that it is, so you're behind a year. In this case.
because this is the first time that number, because they had, I saw these numbers run last year's start from the, it says 21-22, so we dipped from 79% credential to 58% in 1 year.
But the unknown jumped up a huge amount from 8,
Yeah. What,
9 to 26.
so I mean, there was different leadership in here, but what would have, do we know what's causing that unknown right there?
No, it's old data and honestly, it's improved since then and looking forward, it's only gonna get better.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
It's also, Mr. Brophy, that's the end of the COVID years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people left the profession during that time period.
And a lot of this is pre-populated by the state.
Okay, so, but we populate that 58.02 right there?
I mean, we check it, but it's mostly what we report in CalPADS.
Oh, so that's from CalPAD, from us, and we're pulling from
Some
that.
of it,
Yeah.
they pull data from different areas, but
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
district and state is the same on everyone. Okay, that's, I mean, that's, I mean, to me, you know, as board members, like, we're looking at data here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge jump. I was comparing other areas.
yeah.
Schools, like even the local districts or other ones, I'm not seeing some decreases, but not that level at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little concerning,
And Mr. Brophy, the emergency credentials is not considered
yeah,
fully credentialed.
yeah. So, okay, so there's maybe that's in the unknown, and after that fills in there, but
Yeah.
it's still tough to see.
But, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this is data for 23-24, not
No.
21-20.
So it goes back to 2021 and it has 23-24, but not all the data because there's still some that comes out in February. The state, they have us approve it before they give us all the data. There was 1 year we didn't get it until May. It's just how it works. It's like we get more information in our LCAP frankly, and other reports we give to you, but it's great. It's just what we have to report out to the board. And I wouldn't spend too much time on the past data.
With, the other thing on page 24, it says teacher and admin salaries. It looks like the district and state amounts. Those look like those are PSD's district numbers and not our numbers from that.
So we're the school, they're the district.
So,
So it does compare.
so that's
And then
how
it's
they work when you're charter. You put your authorizers numbers on there and not your own.
We don't do any of this. This is
Oh.
all required by the state. So this
Okay.
is a form they send us. It's in our dog tracking system.
Okay.
It gets pre-populated by all the data that they get from these multiple sources.
Okay.
Sometimes it's wrong. Most of the time it isn't though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's late. So there's some that's missing for this year or for last year. But what's populated in here, they usually take our school, our academy, and then they take our district that we're in, so district-wide. So like
Yeah.
when I was principal, it was my site, then my district, and then it does the state comparison, so that you can see kind of like this bird's eye view and then a greater view.
Some of the state data. Okay, so we didn't populate. This is pulled from there.
Yes.
Even though we
Yes.
wouldn't. Okay, that seems weird to do, but.
But we put information in here because
We do put some, yes.
on page 10, it states that we're gonna be doing a roof repair in 24-25. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have known that.
No, so
Right.
some of it is, they're fields that you can't touch because they're pre-populated, and others are like narratives that we have to put in. So technically, we could go in and if we revise our mission and vision, we could do that, and we would be able to check that in.
That clarifies. it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a, women not like that. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Ms. Simons, any questions?
No question.
I have no questions. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion approved, SARC 23-24.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion approved for SAR 23-24 school accountability report card. Thank you. All right, the motion before us is the T-Mobile hotspot contract for students. Let's open up for discussion, Mr. Knowles.
So this is for 100 hotspot devices?
Yeah.
Around the campus?
Yes,
We have one per room?
No, this,
In the hallways?
so
Where do they go?
these are hotspots to go into student homes if needed. So if they don't have access to internet at home, they'll come to their counselor and pretty much we will provide them with the hotspot.
Thank you.
From looking at the data that we provided T-Mobile, I want to say there's roughly around 80 students or so. Yeah. So, same for this one.
Do they check it out entire year or they check it out as needed?
So that's something we'll have to go over. Pretty much we can do the entire year and then we will have records that they have it. When they're out of school, we could go and deactivate that device for the time being if we want to. And then once they're back in school, we can turn it back on. So that part we'll figure out if we want to call it back. You know what, school's over, bring it back to us and we'll hold on to it for you for next year.
No, my question derived from if they need it once, they might need it, you know, during the entire school year. So I'm
Right.
trying to find out if they only get it as needed or they're allowed to have it the entire school year.
So for sure during the school year, yes.
So the number of hotspots that we have available allows for us to have extra in case someone's going through a difficulty and suddenly mid-year need a hotspot from us.
Correct.
So that's what the extra 20 is for.
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah, and basically the hotspots are free. What we pay for is service and we can disable the service for a few months.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
So this is a maximum amount. If we use 80 instead of 100, if we had 80 activated, we pay 80% of this dollar.
Correct, yeah. So that's if we left them on the whole time, the full 2 years that we have.
Other questions? Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the hotspots.
Seconded.
Second, okay, all those in favor to approve the T-Mobile hotspots contract for students, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. No, motion passes to approve the T-Mobile hotspots contract for students. Thank you. All right, the motion in front of us is the flex spending account, FSA IRC 125 plan.
Good evening, board. My name is Jamira Eta, and I will be presenting on behalf of the HR department in place of Ms. Barbosa this evening. We have a legislative item to bring to you. Pursuant to the Health and Welfare Benefits article that was agreed upon between TPAA and PATA, the Academy will offer a flexible spending account or an FSA in accordance with the guidelines under an IRC section 125, which is cafeteria plan. This is voluntary and will allow unit members, certificated unit members, to purchase either the qualifying medical expenses plan or child care plan. This plan allows them to use their income pre-tax to cover any unexpected expenses that might come up, and this is something that they would have to opt in. And we are doing this through CISC, and they have been wonderful about getting this implemented and setting things straight for us so that we may begin with an enrollment effective 2/1 of this year. Okay, there's something else that I wanted to say. Oh, part of it, we do have a board resolution that I did want you guys to look at. It's part of what CISC is currently asking for us and requiring for us to submit in order for us to be able to implement this. They have it, right? Yeah, and that's it.
We open this up for discussions. Any questions?
Is it use it or
It is,
use it?
it is. It is, and they will give us the enrollment forms that have that, so they are well aware that if they don't use it, they will use it.
Is there a grace period?
I believe it's a 2-month grace period,
After
and
the year.
because we know that we were sort of in a rush to make sure that we could implement this as soon as possible with a start date of the Q1, we did arrange for SIS to send out a representative. The 21st, I believe, is a Tuesday, to come and be on site. We're going to be working with the administrators so they can spend some time at the elementary, sometime at the secondary, and answer any questions that I probably won't be able to answer. Yeah.
No questions.
No question.
No questions.
Yeah, no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the flexible spending accounts.
Yes. Second, all those in favor to approve the flexible spending account, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes for flexible spending account, FSA IRC 125. Thank you. Okay, next one before us is the memorandum of agreement with Fresno Pacific University. Opens up for discussion. Any questions? Ms. Lopez, any questions?
This is done for each, right, teacher or.
You've seen many of these.
Yeah,
No questions.
No questions.
all right. I can get a motion.
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement with Fresno Pacific University.
Have a second.
Second.
All those in favor to approve memorandum agreement with Fresno Pacific University, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes with memorandum agreement with Fresno Pacific University. Public comment on agenda items? None? Okay. Public comments closed. I'm gonna go ahead and we're adjourning our closed session. Board meeting, public report, there were no actions taken during closed session. Do I have a representative from the Palmdale Aerospace Teachers Association?
No.
No? Okay, representative from the Palmdale Aerospace Classified Association,
No.
Superintendent report?
I just have two quick things. I know that we sent out an invitation to the CSBA conference, and we have 4 members going, but that's also on a board meeting night, so we need to cancel the March 11th board meeting. Just letting everyone know that for the, I heard that. So just to keep that in mind, and would anybody else like to attend? Right now, we have Mr. Trujillo, Ms. Lopez, Mr. Brophy, and Mr. Lujan. Anyone else?
What? Remind me of that.
Oh, it's, oh, yeah, you weren't, well, now you're part of it, like, you could go. It's March 10th, 11th, and 12th up in Sacramento.
Is that spring break?
No, it's
No,
the
it's the
week
week after,
before.
week after, spring break's week after.
Yeah, it's the church school conference. So Donna can reach out and give you the info.
Please.
I want people to.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
And
I
the sec-
appreciate the invitation, but I'm getting DC, so I can't go.
okay. I know I have to miss my class on Wednesday, but I'm leaving late Monday night. So. Okay, and then I mentioned an agenda review, and I would like to hold an agenda review. We could only have 3 members. One of them has to be the board president. So if 2 other people would like to join, the time that we would be doing it is Thursdays from 10 to 11, the week before the board meeting.
I would like to. That way I won't ask that many questions.
That's fine, but yeah. And if it's more than 2 people who want to do it, we could do a rotating schedule. We could do that too. We just can't have a quorum, please.
Looks like you've got your 3.
I want to go.
Okay,
We
so
wanted just to rotate.
rotate, yeah, so rotate. Lopez, Mr.
The chair here, no business.
Okay, perfect. We'll do that 10 to 11 on Thursdays. Okay, and then that way, that's a great way to ask any questions.
Starting this week,
Well, starting, no, it's the Thursday.
the Thursday before the board meeting.
Yeah, so it'll be next
So it's
Thursday.
the day before the agenda comes out.
Yeah, yeah, and Donna will send invites to you all, so you have it. Okay. All right, that was all I had.
Right, board reports, Mr. Rose. Welcome
Glad
back.
to be back. Had a couple month break.
Mr. Trujillo,
Looking forward to being on the board. I toured yesterday.
well, welcome. We're excited to have you. Ms. Lopez?
For me, I just want to say I came to the holiday event at the elementary school. That was very nice. It was very nice actually to hear the different songs they were singing the kids. It was a huge turnout, lots of parents, lots of kids. But that was refreshing for the holidays. And thank you to the staff that put it on. It was very
So for anyone who's listening, we are hosting a robotics league meet here this Saturday. It's open to the public. Come see the hard work our students put in. And we are hosting a tournament here on February 8th, and we're looking for volunteers, and you don't have to have any particular skill set to sign up. We welcome anyone who's interested.
What time is it Saturday?
This Saturday, so depends what roles you want to volunteer for. If you just want to come watch, the matches probably start about 10 a.m. But we need volunteer help starting around 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll be done by noonish,
10 a.m.
depending on how long the matches take. February 8th is gonna be all day that day.
Yeah. Oh. That was it. Sign up to volunteer on the Facebook page. There's a post. Thank you, everyone.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Assignments?
It's Simon's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Thank you very much. I just want to say congratulations to all the hard work that our staff has done in this last 6 months, so far this year. I know our special ed department has worked really hard and was happy to see the increase in the attendance numbers and things like that. I was really excited to hear about the robotics team and how they did. So that was really a neat, learned over the holidays. That was super neat to hear about. So I just wanted to thank our staff because they're working really hard and they're doing a great job. And that's certificated, classified, everybody. So I appreciate it.
I had a chance to come to the school today. So thanks to all the staff, hardworking staff, everyone from the security, front desk people. I got a chance to go to the STEAM lab in the elementary side. Awesome. That place like blew my mind. I saw it a few months ago. Now it's completely changed. They got two small little 3D printers. They're printing out their own headphone holders, and they're doing a bunch of stuff. So they're doing amazing things over there. We got a chance to serve lunch with the cafeteria people there. Those are some of the hardest working people. Not saying that everyone's not hardworking, right? But these guys know every kid by name pretty much. And the kids knew that I was new there. So everyone was asking me, like, who are you? So, but they knew who's a vegetarian, who had allergies by face, and they'd be like, oh, that kid over there is a vegetarian, or he has allergies. So thank you. And I also got a chance to meet with Mr. Jose Santos today. I talked to him, the substitute teacher going to school. He's the randomly approved. Good guy. Looking forward to getting more people in the counseling office. So thank you. And Mr. Riley, I know you have a lot on your plate always and stuff. So thank you guys. All right. Anything else? All right. I'd like to close the session of the Palmdale Aerospace. Oh, can I get a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Yeah.
Aye. Even adjourn.